All right, everybody. So, got you on the phone this time because the camera's too big and clunky and all that nonsense. But once again, we're not doing any drift stuff. The drift cars are still broken. You can see the exhaust is hanging. This is actually ready to go, but we've got a major issue. My son's truck is not working, and he is driving my truck to work, and that ain't happening. So, as you all know, maybe if you've been following around long enough, I have 97 Toyota. They call it the Taco. It is on Volino wheels, of course. But we were having major issues with EGR valve, EGR code. Replaced the EGR valve, and it did nothing. So I then deleted the EGR. Deleted the EGR, undid the sensor, and it still does absolutely nothing. It does the same thing. So I have kind of figured out that the EGR valve, which is this bad boy right here, we still Mr. Yoda. The EGR valve right here, obviously coolant lines go in here, vacuum. This closes it actually, and it's just a valve that opens and closes, and it's connected directly to the exhaust. What I really think is the issue is this bad boy right here is the modulator. So it does have a filter in it that you are supposed to clean, and I did not know about. And then once this gets clogged, it produces excessive EGR flow, which is the code that I got. It also has been melted. So essentially what has happened here is I was in a rush. That's when I kind of realized that this one was damaged, old, and really ready to be replaced. So I removed both of obviously this is the old one. I removed the new one and just made my own block off plates, and it did not work very well. So doing some more research, the excessive flow can be caused by this guy right here, which goes directly into the IAC. So essentially what I need to do is pull the intake off and clean all of this out. I want to verify if it's clogged or not. I'm hoping that it is clogged, and that way that is the problem. I'll put the EGR system all the way back together like it was stock, and I have a new vacuum modulator coming anyway. It'll be at the O'Reilly's near my house since I'm way out in the boonies. But what also is happening is it's been leaking oil. So I am taking all of this off to not only clean that, but I'm going to replace the valve cover gasket and the O-rings around the spark plugs. So I'm going to set you up on a little stand, and heck, I may go get the big camera just because it's nicer to set up on the stand. But anyway, either way, we're going to flash into this and be in the engine bay right about now. Essentially what you're going to see here is me struggling to figure out how to get all of this off, as it's my first time working on this Toyota. I've done the basic maintenance stuff on it, but I had never dug deep into it. So if you happen to have found this video and ordered to work on your own 2.4, 2.7 Toyota, then you might want to just stick around, laugh at this first little bit at what you might have experienced, and then at the end you'll see that I can get this intake and this whole air filter contraption taken off pretty easily and quickly. In fact, I promise you within a couple of minutes I can go take it off. So yeah, what I'm figuring out now is that there is 6 bolts on the bottom of the intake. There is 4 bolts on the top of the intake that connects to the throttle body. The throttle body is still connected to the intake, so you don't actually have to take that off. I kind of figured that out later on, but right here you'll see me struggling with the intake manifold. Basically the goal of all this is to get access to the EGR exhaust pipe that's on the back of the header. There's multiple vacuum lines, there's just multiple lines. There's throttle cables, there's everything on top of this, and I am just being very cautious. As you can see, this is the only camera that I'm using, and it's not very zoom friendly as it's just the iPhone. So I try hammering on it with a little bit, trying to pry the intake off, and I realized that something is still bolted on. So I kind of have to just sit back and think about it for a minute, because we don't want to break anything that you cannot replace. Some of this stuff is replaceable, but some of it may not be, and some of it may not be available in the next couple of days. The ultimate goal is to get this fixed, get my kid back out of my truck and back into his, so he can get to work. He can do the things that he needs to do while I go drifting.
Got it out.
And here it is. And she is dirty. Dirty. Obviously, I got all that taken off. It took me a minute to realize that there is... the throttle body is connected to it, obviously, so it was pointless to undo the top bolts. But essentially, there is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 bolts down here that actually mount this whole thing together. And then a plethora of coolant and random lines up in here. If you've never been in here, this is what the EGR pipe is, and just kind of like I had hoped, I cannot get it to focus. Bam, right there. That sensor is absolutely corroded, like corroded, and that is what's going on with all of this. So tells me this is exactly what I was kind of hoping for. Hopefully that wasn't out of focus on me. I've still got to tear into it some more and replace the gasket. I have the gaskets right here. I have a new distributor I'm going to take back and replace, exchange for a new vacuumulator thingy-mabobber. But this bad boy needs to go in there. And yeah, it'll be nice to kind of get through here. I've already replaced the spark plugs, changed the oil, changed the air filter. I did all that just to kind of try to quick fix the issue, but it didn't do anything. So a lot of the issues too are like vacuum. This truck is very dependent on vacuums, and I don't know why this thing is being goofy. But as you can see, all of these are torn and battered and all of that. So I'm going to replace all the hoses up here. And yeah, other than that, let's get you set back up and keep going. All right, my bad. I didn't hit record, but it wasn't much. You didn't miss anything. So what you could see me struggling with is I undid these on the top. That's all I could see in the truck. This is what's visible. Obviously, this is the bottom. So I undid all 6 of these, and the whole throttle body and assembly came out. Well, there's 2 more bolts. In case you're ever working on a little Toyota 2.4, 97 through a bunch of them, there's 2 more bolts underneath there that allows me to take this off. And I'm 99% sure that's the problem now. This thing is absolutely caked everything in carbon. So I'm going to order, well, and then obviously I tore this getting it out. So that kind of made me think I'm going to go ahead and order this new gasket, order this gasket, and get it all coming to the local O'Reilly's. But now I'm going to take all of these out, and I am going to wire brush and clean this entire thing. I'm not going to film it because it's going to be boring and stuff, but I'll come back and show you a finished picture. Okay, I know we're supposed to be taking that off, but I went a little crazy and just started cleaning all of this stuff, and you can see that totally different. So, anyway, got these cleaned up. I wanted to make sure all that was cleaned up and ready to go also, so that I can make the new gasket to it. This thing I have cleaned up even more. as you can see, the first video, it was just completely black. So now everything is cleaned out. I've got plenty of space in there now. I mean, excuse me, not plenty of space. There's a little bit of stuff down in there, but hell, it was running decent with the amount of stuff caked up in it. So this is gonna do nothing but help it. Mainly like that port right there, everything is cleaned out. There is some gunk still up in there, but that is perfectly fine. It's perfectly fine. It's gonna be just fine. We have light shining through. Yeah. And then obviously in there is looking a lot better. I'm having hell giving you. Anyway, so that is done. That is clean. That is looking a lot better. So now we are officially going to move this. So I've got to figure out how to take this off and then get the valve cover off. It should be pretty self-explanatory once I get in there. It's just the silly little goofy things. I also do have a distributor cap I thought was the original problem. So I don't know if I'm going to go return it, get the 39 bucks back, or just go ahead and put it on while I'm here. It's kind of like while you're here, while you're there, all that fun stuff. Like, why not? It's my kid's truck, 30 bucks. I don't even know what I would spend $30 on these cars. So the least I could do is get him running good and keeps me feeling like I've actually done good as a father, because it's hard sometimes not to feel that way. And that's a completely different story. We're not going to talk about that right now. We're going to put you on the ladder and let you look at me be a weirdo in front of the camera. And thanks for sticking around. And if you haven't subscribed, go ahead and do it. So back with me again doing these fancy voiceovers. So as I take out the air filter Medilla Hickey Hopper and kind of figure out that there is a lot easier way, and I should have been wearing gloves because my hands are dirty, and I'm wearing basically a sweatsuit that I really like. And my ADHD has brought me out here, and I started working on the car when I shouldn't. But we're not going to talk about that. We're going to talk about the task at hand, and that's gaining access to take the valve cover bolts off. There are 10 valve cover bolts on the top of this 2.4, 2.7 Toyota Tacoma motor. It's also available in a 4Runner. But there are a few clips on the wiring harnesses that clip onto it. And something that I noticed is that, and if anybody else that's keen and works on cars can notice, is that I never had to struggle to get any of these bolts loosened up for my little ratchet. It doesn't have a lot of torque, so a lot of the times you'll see, you know, people using it to tighten and or loosen, and then use the mechanical ability about it to speed the process up. But I didn't have to do anything on any of the bolts. They were all extremely loose. I probably should have tested them for hand tighten. But anyway, they were very loose. This one was full of oil already. It looks like this is a Feel Pro replacement. Like this has already been done before. It's identical to the one that I have. I am still going to replace it. I noticed that there is some RTV in the corners. Anyway, we're going to go ahead and do that. I wish I could figure out why these, this one was okay. This one is completely filling up with oil, and I don't know why. So hopefully, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe something in here needs to be fixed or something, or doodad or diddy-daddy. But anyway, we're making progress. Making progress. Sorry. So I've got that back on. There's no oil really anywhere over here. It starts here. By the way, I was gonna replace this. This looks perfectly brand new. It was just missing a bolt in the bottom, and it was allowing oil from this to get in there and cause it to be all oily and nasty. To clean that, added a bolt. This is the random bolt I found. I added the one that was here down below, so now it has all three. But anyway, I noticed that all of it's caked up front. So I just put a stupid, absolutely stupid amount of RTV gasket maker all the way around this. Currently I have the gasket, or I have the valve cover just kind of tightened down. I'm gonna let this set up. It is still a little too tacky for me. So essentially I got that knocked out. I got the valve cover done. I've got the distributor cap figured out. I've got all of this stuff cleaned up. So now we've just got to wait on the pretty old thing called time. Sometimes it's our friend, and sometimes it's not our friend. It's going to be about a day for me, but it's going to be bam, bam. I don't know. However I ended it. But we're back here. We're day 2. I brought the same dog as you see in the background, but I also brought the big fat dog. So after the, just want to give a shout out. Drift NWA had partnered up with O'Reilly a year or so back, and since I was doing so much shopping at O'Reilly, I went in and represented in their hat. So anyway, came back from O'Reilly. I got all the parts I had ordered from various locations to the one really close to my house, and picked it up on the way home. Throttle body gasket, intake gasket, also have the engine side of the intake, but I'm not going to use that. I didn't break it down that far. The PCV valve grommet, and then the vacuum modulator, and then you see extreme heat JB weld, excuse me, because I noticed a giant couple of cracks in the manifold. I know that's temporary fix, but it's been leaking, so I'm just going to do that. And then you remember how I said that, that these bolts seemed loose? Well, I went ahead and cranked down on them before checking the 10 foot-pounds, and I got a little hairline crack right here. So JB Weld's going there while we're waiting on a new cover to come in from eBay. Yes, I'm an idiot. I know. Comment idiot down below, and then a smiley face so we know you're not being mean. And so does YouTube. Anyway, today, so I've got to take this off, clean both ends of it, take out my delete kit, remove this piece because it's part of my homemade delete kit, and get everything. How you doing, Miss Pig Pig? Oh, you pretty girl. Pretty baby. Where's your ugly bro? Oh, there he is. He's a man. Anyway. So we're gonna get this going back together. I'll put you at a different angle so it's not the same, I'll put that ladder over here and do the same thing. Bam, bam, boom, bam, 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 bam. Yeah, so bing bong, I got you on the other side of the truck. I wanted to give you just a different perspective, just so you're not always looking at the back of me, or it just doesn't look like the same boring video. I just wanted to make sure I got everything ready to go. I had found all the nuts that I had mistakenly taken off the throttle body that were not needed. I was careful to put all that back together. I put the new throttle body gasket in there. And here you'll see me taking care of the PCV valve. This is the original PCV valve. You'll see me take this apart 3 times in this video, but for different reasons, not because of a wrong install. The next you'll see me put on is the intake gasket. It came with 2 packs in it, and yeah, this little kit, it looks kind of daunting when you first look at it, but once you take it out, get it all kind of out, put it back in, take it out, it's actually not too bad. You could really tear down the top of this motor relatively easy, and it's something that I've learned working on many cars, is that it's just like you dread starting some of this stuff, and once you actually get into it, it's really not too terribly bad. There's things that are designed to come out in certain pieces, and once you do that and figure that out, it actually goes pretty smoothly, and it's kind of therapeutic to work on. You know, I was able to put things back together. Like here, I'm reinstalling the new EGR valve, making sure that I get everything tight. I get the gaskets in there in between the motor, because this does recirculate hot gases into the intake, and we don't want it to melt anything around it, which is the vacuum lines that we all know it is very dependent on. This EGR valve does have 2 coolant lines that runs through it. I did have it looped when I had the EGR valve delete. Yeah, once you get that hooked up, you can hook up the vacuum modulator thingamabobber and start running all your lines. I'm still waiting on the hoses, so these got to go, the PCV's got to go. I'm also going to replace quite a bit of all these just to make sure that we don't have any more vacuum leaks. I've got the bolts tightened down there. The new EGR is on. The new vacuum modulator is on. I'm going to look at a couple of diagrams to verify I have all of this routed correctly, just because it is silly, but it does matter. It does matter. It matters a lot. So, yeah. Anyway, I think we're making good progress. It's about 3 o'clock, and still waiting on Amazon to bring the vacuum lines. But other than that, this thing would be ready to fire up. Do another flash transition for you guys, since I know you're just loving that. And but I really got to wait on Amazon to get all this stuff going. So, like I said, I'll see you in just a second. Bye. I left my hat down at the house because I was waiting on Amazon, but the packages have arrived. It is a plethora of hoses. Bam. All right, so it's just a bunch of tubing. Just random sizes of tubing, and I got it to specifically change some of this stuff. Hopefully it'll actually work. Yep. So anyway, mainly we're changing these 2, and we're changing the PCV right here, and then we're using a portion of this hose with the bend to go underneath from the exhaust to the EGR. Yeah, so basically we want to continue the install. We've got all these little vacuum lines that are specific to certain little ports. There's a P, Q, and an R on top of the intake, and they correlate with the vacuum modulator. Once you get the intake back together, side note, you'll see that I've taken this intake off in many different pieces, and that was because this is the very first time. You'll see later on that I'm able to take it off within a minute or 2. That was just a side note. So just taking care of any mismatched, cracked, any type of disgusting line, I just went ahead and knocked it out, replaced it. While you're there, you might as well do it. You know, while you're there, you might as well. You just might as well do it. You'll just thank yourself later. All right, so my phone died. So anyway, it started and it was running like crap. So I got in there and cleared the code, and then I also found a loose distributor wire. So that is probably gonna, hopefully, yeah, I don't know. I'm about to go try it again. I've got the garage open. We're gonna go try to get it out. It's still doing the same exact thing. Like, that's floored. That's floored. yet again, here we are. We're back. It doesn't work. Absolutely nothing has changed. It's gotten absolutely worse than it ever has been. And all I did was spend $400 and 2 days of my time. So, contrary to what you thought, this video, well, actually, you already know this channel sucks and this video is gonna suck. So I'll just make it even better and not even finish the job that we started. I don't like working on cars, man. I just don't like working on cars because had I known that P0401 EGR high flow detected would just simply be a clogged cat. Platinum. So yeah, I inadvertently made a clickbait video because I did all of that stuff for absolutely nothing other than to make this video, apparently. And the original problem was just a ball, essentially. A ball of, I'm gonna say platinums, diamonds. This is just a ball of money up in here. It's loose. So under acceleration, it was blocking the exhaust. And under braking, it would work. So anyway, truck's fixed. I'm a raggedy mess. Okay? Just a raggedy mess right now. And although the truck is fixed, we have eliminated the issue. Give me a second. Okay. All right, it's me again. So, yeah, like I said, essentially, just kind of overlooked that little mistake. It really got me absolutely frustrated. But that, hopefully you understand that was just a little bit of satire, a little bit of fun. I do get very frustrated with this, but it is not that hard. It's not that difficult. And you'll see in just a minute, I do have some more things to button up, which involves taking a lot more apart, but I'll kind of show you around my idea and plan to fix this. So as you remember, I did screw up many times in this video. In fact, let's just make it clear. We don't need to be watching this if you want to, actually learn anything, but it's okay. So I did crack this. The JB Weld, I think, is working. The issue is that I stupidly put the Feel Pro and then on top of gasket maker, which is kind of a big stupid no-no, and it is still leaking and dripping down right here. Kind of talking to a buddy, they kind of think that this might have been warped. That's why it cracked instead of stripped, and that's why it was fighting a leak, essentially. Got down in there and got the fuel filter replaced. Patrick came over and knocked that out and just kind of hung out, showed him the new place, let his dog run around, and absolutely enjoyed it. So anyway, we've got to get this running again, get Jacob going. I've got a drift event this weekend at HPA. It was just under acceleration. It was completely blocking the exhaust, which I think led to excessive pressure to crack the header and blow out the seal between the basically the header and the downpipe, if you will. It's in turbo, but the other connection down there. entire header set, and then the downpipe that goes to where the existing cat was. So we're gonna go ahead and pick that up with this bad boy right here. I'm gonna show you how I'm gonna kind of try and attempt to do this, but we'll cut a couple slots in this sleeve and then we'll clamp it down. This is 2.5 to 2 1/4. This is 2 1/4. The existing truck is 2 1/4. So we're gonna go from brand new headers, and then we're gonna snake down and we're gonna go to this bad Johnny right here. We're gonna reduce it down to this bad Johnny, which is still 2 1/4. And it just essentially is gonna replace the cat. And if we go underneath here, you will see that is where the current exhaust is, but it should roughly, the new downpipe is modeled off of the OEM. So it will extend down a little bit. It has the bungs for the EGR, for the O2 sensor as well. And then it's a 2-bolt flange and it's all 2.5. So that's where my 2.5 comes in. We put in the extension and then bam, we adapt the 2 1/4 stainless to the 2 1/4 rusted existing pipe that goes into the muffler, and it doesn't make him sound all crazy as he's going down the street. We don't need the cops' attention, and you know, it might be cool for a couple times, but it's going to get rather annoying at 75 miles an hour. So essentially what we're going to do right now is put the valve cover on, and while we're there, we're going to go ahead and put new spark plug wires on there while we're already here taking this off. So I am going to clean this up just a little bit. I picked this up on eBay for a couple $100. Actually, it was 150 and shipped from South Carolina same day. So I got it in 2 days. It is for the exact truck, 97 2.4 Taco. So I got really lucky there. It does have a PCV valve, but I'm going to go ahead and just use my brand new one. We'll pop that bad boy out. I think we'll try to clean this up a little bit. We've got a day or so between the headers getting here and me actually installing it, but I want to get this ready for Jacob to drive. Like I said, I've got to go to HPA and compete against that dude right there, Kevin, this Sunday. So I think Jacob has to work and he can drive it that one fun time, get it out of his system. 18 years old, he cut the exhaust off his truck and he gets to rip around and do that. We're gonna take the BRZ out. But anyway, like I said, blah, 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 back to the fast one. All right, so as I check my bald spots and pretend to work very hard, you'll see this is what I was talking about. I have figured out a way to just remove the 4 clips, remove the 3 wires running to the map sensor, the cruise control, and some other kind of intake nonsense. And then the 1 single clamp at the intake. And you can pull this whole contraption out in one piece, smooth, like you're a professional. I'm a professional mechanic at this point. I'm a Toyota professional. Yeah, you know, like I said, this was a learning process and all that fun stuff. So I had cracked the manifold, and now we are removing the old OEM manifold because the new one from eBay has come in. And we're just kind of redoing that whole process. I do have Jacob here with me, so he's able to see this particular part of the build, and he's also able to grab the camera from me at this point so we can get you off of your ladder mount. Right here, you'll notice that I snagged on the throttle cables, and it's just, I was just being lazy. Anytime you mess with this stuff, just crack the 13mm throttle control and the 14mm cruise control, and those 2 big cables will go completely out of your way. As you'll see now, Jacob and I going ahead, you know, while we're here, while you're there, and I'm going to go ahead and replace the spark plug wires. Everything on this truck is, well, I say 180,000 as far as I know, so I'm just going to go with that, and I'm going to go ahead and replace them and do all that fun stuff with it as well. This was the main issue right here. You can see it like leaking out. Yeah, just not great. So I'm gonna clean all this back up because I made that mistake. The main thing, after doing some more research on these 2.4s and 2.7s, it needs a dab right here and right here where the timing cover comes together, and actually probably another one right there and right there. So there was 4 there. I misinterpreted that. My mistake. I don't know what I'm doing. We all know that. I misinterpreted that for gasket maker, and then I went a little crazy. So I was told less is always more, and I learned that kind of the hard way, goofy way. But we don't know if that valve cover was warped or not. So anyway, I am going to clean all this up. Jacob is going to start cleaning all of this stuff up as much as he can, and we're going to get this swapped out, get it back ready to go. All right, you got that?
I think it's good now.
All right, we're going to need to set it on the ground like flat, and then you can take this. I'll show you how to get the, no, not on the grass. We're just gonna go ahead and use the PCV valve I just replaced, which is this bad boy right down in here. It's a little easier on the truck. I also replaced the gasket, but I just trying to get it out without tearing it. I lost it down in the valve cover. So we gotta make sure and save this one. Oh, and it just tore. Okay. All right, so we got a little bit of an issue. So the reason I was being so careful with this one is because they tear easily. This one was brand new, so I figured it'd be a lot easier. This one has been in the truck probably since it was made, and you can see how easily it is going to tear on me. And it goes down in there. And see, there's no way to get it from underneath there. Okay, I've got it. If you can. Here, maybe we can try up here. Gotta be able to get that stinking little thing out of there.
And that's used for?
Without tearing it, it's the seal.
Oh.
It helps the PCV valve work. I mean, it's essential. And I was just gonna try and reuse the other one since I had lost this one, but this one's the softest of them all. And I got it without tearing it. Okay, now, pretty much gotta pull the other one up here. And find that junk out of there. It doesn't go down in there, but I don't. I didn't even need those last time.
What do you mean?
I need that T-handle down there. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
This thing is so old and crusty. It's gonna break. It no longer flexes, you know?
Mm-hmm. So it's a good thing you're taking it out.
Yeah. Actually, I don't want the spreads open. Come on. Okay, got it. Ha. All
That's all
right.
they ripped off? Oh, that's all that was left?
Well, the other, that's all right here. Okay. All right, so new PCV valve in. Oh no, ha, duh. That's what we're about to do. Okay, now. Bam. New PC valve in. The wrong valve cover. No. Just kidding. We are going to use the OEM. That's why we need to check this. Clips the wiring harness. This one we don't want to just drill in like that. Clip. You kind of don't want to press it in there. If you go through here and just like run your finger down it, you'll get to the end and you're going to have way too much gasket. Definition of which way this goes in, it sits on this little lip. So now, yeah, I mean, this is basically just where I'm cleaning up my entire RTV mess. You don't need all that nonsense milly-jilly that I put on there. Less is more. Less is more, Jason. Less is more. Okay, so less is more. We're just gonna kind of spread this out. I'm gonna let that sit up for just about 5 seconds. Oh, 10 foot-pounds is not that much. Like, I think that's probably it or over.
I don't think that's coming off.
You can hear it. I remember and I kept going. Oh, see, yeah, that one's good, yeah. That's probably it. I'm just gonna say that's it.
Looks tight.
Well, with a correct functioning PCV valve and all that stuff that we replaced, it shouldn't be building pressure. So the gasket should do its job, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Just when it starts building a lot of pressure, and obviously it was with a blocked exhaust. Oh gosh, I just don't know.
You don't need to do that one again, right?
Huh?
I thought you said that one was good.
Well, it was good on the automatic side of this. I'm just feeling it. And yeah, you know, I got an internal torque wrench in my wrist, and we're just gonna rock with it. We're gonna roll with it. We're just gonna slap all those little wires on, the dealies, the dallies, the dooblers, all the new stuff, and we're gonna get it put back together. You can see I'm a professional intake installer on Toyotas. Cool.
I get to start on camera.
All right, so it's running. That sounds really good. It sounds awful, but it sounds good, as in it's running good. It's done, and yeah, we'll flash back to working on the exhaust. All right, and wow, yeah. All right, so this actually was supposed to come in Tuesday, and I was gonna hold this video off. I got a delivery notification that it had been delivered at 3 o'clock today. I couldn't find it anywhere, so I looked back on the cameras and he had, I guess I was down here and he hid it behind the trash can. So props to them, but the main complaint was that the gaskets were ruined in here on eBay, and look how this is packed.
It's already broken.
Can you see that? Well, it's not broke, but I can see how that would be. So anyway, this isn't a part review or anything, but this is, I mean, you get what you pay for. It's $123 stainless steel header for a truck that hasn't been made in a long time. 30 years, 29 years. So anyway, yep, individual headers, individual runs all the way down to here, and then obviously it collects into 2.5. This bag unit. So, I mean, we kind of were, this is earlier than I expected. I was thinking you were going to have to run it with the stud exhaust. So, if you really wanted to see how to take that off for the 4th time, you could just reverse part of that. Part of this video. So anyway, got the intake off. It opens up all of this space right here, legitimately, like a lot of space. Hopefully, Jacob has been coming out here and spraying the PV blaster, the knock loose on all of these, and so far, so good. I don't have the right size extension, go figure.
That's 3 out of 6.
Yep, gotta get this bad boy right up in here. It's hard not to forget it's not to slip. The extension. Okay. Okay. Oh gosh. That's a big bolt. So realistically, I didn't know that, but this is the only bolt, and they're all nuts. Okay, just kidding. The nut got stuck and it extracted the entire stud. This stud would screw in. You use a torque wrench. You use a different socket, a star socket, and you screw these into the block, and then the nuts go on there. This one seems to have seized up a little bit. There goes the socket again. But anyway,
So
that is neither here nor there. Now, one thing I did forget is we got to take off the EGR. Let's see. I need you to watch and make sure I don't want to pull this line out right there. You see that? Hard line right there.
Yes, sir.
There's diamond, there's platinum on the floor everywhere when you're coming out. My magnets have to come up.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. This part over here is not. There's not enough space. I don't know.
I just don't. We were not going to be able to take off that little. It's technically not a downpipe, but I guess it is. We're not going to be able to take that off, so it's got to come out with that whole little cut off. Little baby down there. Cut me. There we go.
So it does come up.
Nice. All right, so yeah, see right here. someone had already messed this up, but this was the main noise was leaking. And this would probably have been good if it didn't have back pressure here from that little ball in the Catalytic converter. And it's also cracked this here on the front. And then this one starts right here. Oh, look.
Oh, it goes completely
The whole
around.
thing's cracked. Yeah, that was probably, yeah. That was a lot of your noise. And now that I have all, look at this. Now that I have all the exhaust off, I can get manner. Okay, that bottom. Okay. Bam! Bamboozled.
On.
Alright, switch sides. Now we'll take our crazy, next thing, we're not going to put our stud one in yet. We're going to get this. Alright, so got the header on there. So now we need to come over here. I was kind of looking through all the bolts because this. Also, sorry, squirrel. The Amazon reviews are correct. The EGR tube does not line up correctly with this port on the new headers. This port on the new header does not have any studs in it, so I was kind of coming over here looking, and apparently I have to put in my own studs. I also am going to take down some gaskets with me just in case. But anyway, I have to put the EGR on. And then, as well as put on our downpipe, which is a flared ball end. It's going to be kind of interesting to see. But anyway, this will be our next section of fun. All right, so in fun we did have, so this is a 3-bolt flange up at the header, and then it converts down to a 2.5-inch 2-bolt flange at the downpipe, as I've been calling it. So this was where I realized that the studs that I thought went to the EGR actually went down here to the O2 sensor. I cut out quite a bit of this video because you have been gracious enough to sit here long enough and watch me fumble through this entire taco video, so I have cut that out, but I felt like that was needing for an explanation. You have to figure out your own bolts for the EGR, and now that I'm editing this video, I should have just figured out my own bolts for yeah, I should have just figured out my own bolts for this one instead of going back up and taking down the EGR. But you live, you learn, you laugh, and you cuss, and you do some other things, and then you have a completed car and a goofy little video that hopefully someone else will enjoy as much as you did editing it. So anyway, got the O2 sensor in, and I am not a welder. I do not have a welding machine. I do not have any of that fun stuff in my arsenal. So this is the way that I am going to do this little Toyota truck. It doesn't have a lot of pressure. It doesn't make but probably 100 horsepower. So I have carefully designed a bunch of 2.5-inch OD to a bunch of 2.5-inch ID, which then couples into a 2.25 ID and OD contraption, and I'm able to basically bypass the cat with the new header and all that fun stuff and use the existing muffler system and setup. The header and all that was relatively cheap. It was 123 bucks, but if you wanted from basically that 2-bolt flange all the way to the back, it was another 400. So while this is probably frowned upon, and I already know it's a little bit ghetto, but hey, it works. And the truck is not worth going to, it's not worth it. It's just not worth it. If this fails, we'll make another, we'll make another video and fix it and all that fun stuff, and then we can laugh at each other. But anyway, this is how I've done it, this is how we're gonna do it, and this is how it's done. It's as I'm editing this video, Jacob has already had a successful trip to the store, and he is on his way to work. So this may be a little bit of a spoiler for you, but I'm proud. I'm proud that we're able to do this. I'm proud that I'm able to do a talk over, a voiceover, and I want to improve my craft even more. So yeah. Hopefully, as you saw from the 360, I don't really know if it's working or not, but we got that done. I got that done. I did just see I forgot to hook up the sensor.
I can see it from here.
What?
I can see it from here.
I think I know where this plugs in. I didn't unplug it, unfortunately. Okay. Sorry. All right, so there you go. Done. All right, so headers, all that stuff was back in, right? So really, all I need to do is put the intake on.
Well, Patrick
Yep.
was saying it's easier if you put the part on first, and then you can attach these two on the top. Just to make it easier, I don't know.
Well, I already did it once,
Yeah, true.
and that's actually going to be in the way.
Okay.
For me, anyway. I'm not as cool with that. It definitely goes in a lot easier with all that crap on it. Okay. Okay.
Okay.
Here, not to get stuck on that. That goes down. This goes here. Just kidding. This is the one that goes down there. I had that backwards. Goes here in the way.
Sorry.
That one goes here. Click. Done. This one. Alright, these I got screwed together somehow. Perfect. And this got screwed together. That's got a 14 down here. This bad boy right here. That one was a little loose, what we want. I don't want it super tight or super loose either.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I don't really know. I don't remember how those went.
Everything seems connected.
All right. Let's see what what she sounds like with this. It's probably going to be some exhaust leak.
Okay. I mean, that sounds nice. It honestly sounds pretty nice.
Alright, I mean, yeah, it's way quieter than it was.
Yeah.
That triple one is leaking, but
It works.
I want to tighten that up while it's running.
Yep.
Alright, so way down there, it's got a tiny little leak right now still. I could be tightening it up some more, but I'm kind of over it. It's almost midnight, honestly, right now. But hey, we persevered, we did it. Your truck's fixed. It's much quieter. It's actually got, if you come over here, put the camera up. It's got a nice little low tone to it, so don't mind all that stuff coming out of it. It's got a real nice low tone to it. I think it's great for no welding, nothing like that. From having a cut exhaust about 4 hours ago, a truck that didn't run 2 days ago. You know, the ultimate test is tomorrow. I'll probably send you to the store, like to O'Reilly's or to McDonald's or something, get a breakfast. I'll probably send you to that. That's, you know, it's about 14.5 miles each way, so we'll be able to go through there. You'll be able to go and see if it's really going to work, all that fun stuff. So I am an absolute wreck.
Your hands.
Yeah, my hands are now in my hair, but this is done. This is done and dusted, and I guess, are you looking at my face?
Yeah.
Okay. And I guess, you know, thanks for sticking around. This is totally different from drifting. It doesn't have anything to do with drifting. There's a drift car behind you and above you and behind you and out front. But anyway, this truck is, y'all seen the taco. It did pretty well when I rubbed that stuff all over my taco. Put the Valino wheels on here, and then it's become a great vehicle for my kid when he got old enough to need to drive. And so yeah, this is a little more extensive than probably what it needed. It just needed the exhaust done, honestly, but now I can kind of consider it's got a really good, you know, 180,000 mile tune-up, basically. Spark plugs, spark plug wires. We cleaned the entire intake, new EGR valve, a new vacuum modulator, new vacuum hoses anywhere that there was a crack, anywhere. Brand new valve cover, valve cover gasket. We have a new air filter. We have new oil. We have a new exhaust and new PCV valve.
Something for the fuel too.
Oh, a brand new fuel filter. Yeah, I kind of went crazy on the truck, so it does have it. It should last another 180,000 miles, honestly. The only thing we are going to keep an eye out for, and it's, I mean, just sitting here, it's dry. Last time it was leaking, but the 4 little drops of, you know, using very little amount seems to be the trick. Yeah, so like I said, I'm gonna keep rambling on. I'm tired. It's late, and like I said, I appreciate it. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. And yeah.